All right, what is up, everyone? Howdy, and welcome to the live stream. Cool. So I am just finishing up some stuff. When I left off last time, I thought it would be the done end of it, but got a little bit more left to do with how to extend blocks. So yeah, let's pick up with that. So I think last time I was showing save element, and that's this hook right here. Block save element filter applies the result to the save function. So we could also do this through register block type, but there's one just for the save element on its own. Its filter is used to replace or extend the element, for example, using WP element or React clone element. So you don't want to just necessarily modify it directly. You could clone it, modify it, do whatever you want with it. So the problem with this, let me just go ahead and get it started. All right, so we did a core quote block. I think I showed this last time, but basically if you had a quote block and we are trying to wrap it with this class of myWrapper, and I view it on the front end, oh, hold on, that's not visible. Let me just move that up a little bit. Cool. Okay, so does it have it? Yeah, it's got the class of myWrapper around it, so we know that that is working, but the problem happens when we come back in to edit this again. Let's say that we remove this filter, so we built it to start with, then we remove it. That's going to break our block. What's also going to break our block is if we have any existing quotes. We do that, and then we import the block on an existing site, or we modify it on the fly, and that's going to break it too. And the reason is because what is saved in there needs to match what gets pulled out. And so anytime we do this, as long as there's nothing to start with, you're fine. And as long as you never disable this, you're fine. But once you do either of those things, everything's going to break. So that might be a problem. So what we have is an alternative on the PHP side. So the way I've set this up, I've got block filters in a PHP file. And what this is going to do is go through any paragraph and heading. And then if it's not in this array, so if it's not a paragraph or heading, it's not going to do anything. However, if it's on a certain page template or is singular, here, let's move. I don't know if I need to edit this. This is from an existing demo. So Belinda, actually, one of our students, shout out to Belinda. This is in the JS for WP Slack. You could find it there. If it is a certain page, then it's not going to do anything as well. However, otherwise, it is going to modify this to get our block content, which let's just go ahead and play with all this for a little bit. So I'm going to mod all of this, except for that. And I'm going to say if it's a core quote block. And I prefer to use this syntax. Cool. Make sure nothing's broken here. So I just want to start echoing some stuff out. And man, I am not good at PHP. It's been a while. I was good for a while, but I don't use it much anymore. So I kind of forget where in the WordPress system I could just start logging stuff out, because I just like to see what is what. Oh, that's not going to do anything until I load a quote one or until I save it. Updating failed. Cool, now that broke something. It just failed. Oh, because I've got to return block content. So let's try that again. So that time it saves. Ooh, I have something logged on the screen. What is that? Yeah, cool. So it's showing this myWrapper stuff. Oh, that's way too much. Hold on. Okay. So that's what block content is. Block content is everything. And since we have this filter, it's been modified. So let's just go back and delete that. Oh, I'm learning my shortcuts for Gutenberg. Control-Option-Z deletes a block on a Mac, so, you know, just to help you out there. All right, so let's just do a regular quote with nothing there. All right, maybe that PHP is throwing an error. Cool. Let's look at on the front end. What I'm also curious is, I don't know if this, what is actually here, always matches. Okay, so that's where, no, we haven't done anything there. So I think that just needs to be replaced or refreshed. Let's try that again. Quote, quote, quote. What I'm curious is I also don't know if, ooh, that's the other command I learned, how to shift between code edit and visual editor. It's Option Command M. Cool, another one to help. Okay, so that says one thing. Ooh, no, don't want to save that. Then here we come to our block on the front end, and that is nothing. Okay, so let's try doing what was here before, and let's wrap block content in a class called I don't have prettier running on my PHP here, okay? So I think that since this modifies it on a PHP level, we could just refresh our page, yeah, and no, it doesn't work like that. If we're the block filter, my thought was that as soon as it pulls it out of the database, but maybe this is, yeah, this is calling on render block, so it should, don't know what's happening there. Let's refresh this, see what's going on. So that still looks the same. Let's change it, save it again. That might trigger that to happen. Nope. Okay, let's delete the block entirely. Add a new one. Oh, now that I'm learning keyboard shortcuts, Gutenberg is getting easier to use, I feel like. Okay, and now let's check out what that looks like. Still nothing. Oh, because I'm returning the output. Yeah, silly boy. Or I'm returning the block content. I'm not returning the modified stuff. Okay, so now as soon as I do this, I think that that should run. Yeah, see, we don't even have to save anything. So this is great because it doesn't interfere with anything on any of the ends. So we can modify all we want from the PHP level, and it shouldn't break anything here in our block. Now, if we view this, see, it doesn't have it there because it's only on save when this happens. Okay, so this is how you would go about modifying a save block. Now, the block itself, I also want to look at, because this is good for wrapping a block, but can we really modify the block content? That's what I want to dig into and look at here. So okay, so we've got so we could maybe like straight replace this inner HTML, but it wants block content back. So what was block content again? Oh yeah, if we're putting block content in the middle, then we could just replace it with whatever we want. So, okay, let's try this. Oh, but how do we get the attribute? Were attributes part of that? See, I want to like scrape this data and get this and wrap it in something else. Like I'm trying to just maybe remove the citation tag. Hey, Rita in here. Oh, sorry, I just saw folks in the live chat. Usually I have that someplace different. Let me pop that out. Say howdy to everyone here. Happy Sunday, y'all. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so yeah, how can I get, so this is a great solution for this part, but I'm not really sure if that's going to be helpful for modifying the block content. So I'm going to change this back. And I think that's going to be my recommendation, because if we could get attributes in here, then we'd be cool. Thank you. Yeah, also I stumble. Okay, so let's come back here. Inner content. So what if we got, oh yeah, what if we just got the inner HTML of this? So let's try doing, instead of block content, let's do the block hold on, I need this out in like some formatted area. Please don't laugh at my PHP, y'all. Okay, is this any better? No, that's not what I wanted, because I think I want the block. Okay, cool. So we've got an array of inner blocks. So how does PHP work again? Is it like that? I know I don't do the dot. Okay, let's take these out of the way. That's obviously not it. Is it a, nope. The single, the double. How do you write PHP again, man? I forget sometimes. No, that's obviously nothing. Okay, let's try this again. So we export out the block and it's array. So I should be able to do, oh, it's attributes inner blocks and then an array, right? Hey, here's attributes. Okay, so what? We've got an array with block name and then at. Can I get that? Okay, I've got block name. Now what was the next thing on the list? Attributes. All right. Let's get this one. Why is this empty? Oh my God, what is going on? Okay, it's just an empty array, but it just had data there a second ago, right? Am I crazy? Okay, so we've got our block, and then we've got attributes, which should have, oh, that has an empty array in the first one, but then inner blocks, oh, everything's empty again. Hold on, no, inner HTML, dadoy. Okay, I just can't read this array here. Boon for JavaScript. Who likes writing JavaScript? Okay, so now I've got that, which is my HTML. So can I dig into that even further? Because block quote class, because like I want to just grab this stuff, right? I'm being a little lazy, but let's watch this. Okay, now let's do some hacking. But we can't return block. Oh yeah. Okay, so I wouldn't override this. I guess I would get what that is, and then I'd have to do all my own work. But yeah, but how do I change the attributes? Again, I can't override. I need dynamic data to plug this up with. Otherwise, all I could do is wrap it from this hook. I think I'm right. So that's why I wanted to go back to the block and find its attributes. But I don't think that these are registered on the server side. I think I remember hearing that. Why is that erroring? Oh, that's cool. Okay, so what I mean is if I run through, when I set up blocks, there's a way to set up block attributes and register them on the PHP side. But I remember hearing that WordPress does not register all their block attributes on the server side. So I don't know how we can get access. Let's look at this one more time. Maybe I'm missing something. Get our block. See, attributes is an empty array. Now, what if I get one of my blocks that I know, no, because I'm not registering. Okay, here's another. All right, so another rabbit hole is I need to go and actually register a block that has PHP settings, pull that in and see if I can get those attributes. But really, I think we've already determined from some of the limitations of the JavaScript stuff that like it already has limitations and it wasn't finding any of my own plugins to begin with, so, or any of my blocks. So I think that these block filters, we're just going to do a section on like extending core blocks and not how to do everything with our own, extending our own custom blocks. Whew, man, there's so much more I'm going to have to circle back for this course and figure out later once things evolve a little bit more. But, okay, so cool. The thing we've got here, though, is that I can say that we have a way to wrap our functions in a way that works with PHP. So this get save element we should not be using. We're going to use PHP to wrap a block, and that's something pretty common as well. Now, I don't know if there are other blocks that will let us actually modify the PHP further. There's got to be a way. Ugh. You ever hit a wall and then you're like, okay, I could either accept that I don't understand this or it doesn't do what I think it's going to do, or I could dig down deeper and like really try more. I want to try more a little bit. Okay, what happens if I pull in one of my blocks? Let's just like find out here. Cool, cool, cool. Let me quit Slack real quick. Actually, we'll leave it on. Building a Gatsby theme project, and the devs are buzzing away. We all are. That's part of the reason I'm trying to wrap up this advanced Gutenberg stuff, is I really want to start doing some course and content creation with Gatsby. Okay, but back to this. Okay, so I'm going to put in my own block. I think we've got a custom gallery block. Edit item, I think therefore I vegan. Updating failed. Sweet. I wonder why. Probably because of that. Doing this meditation today, you're supposed to meditate on this one thing every 10 minutes, so you might hear a timer go off. It's a Sunday, y'all. Live streaming on a Sunday. Just gotta... Okay. So that is wrapped. Let's see if on the front end, yeah, my container works on anything. Okay. Now, I don't have attributes labeled for this, so let's go into this block and do things the right way. Fine. Oh no, in my register blocks PHP, down here I have to say if this block is my JS4WP gallery block, I want to manually register all the attributes as well. Cool. So how the heck do I do that? There's search for register block type function. Ooh, this is one we need a... Sorry, blowing up spots here. Cool, don't mind that. Just making notes for future blog posts we have to write. Register block type, okay. So render callback. Yep, attributes. Thank you to J Mao for contributing. Expand. There we go. Okay, so register block type, if it's a certain one, what is the blocks? Oh, we only have one here. How do we only have one block registered? Didn't we build a bunch of blocks? Oh, because I haven't recorded them yet. Okay, so I still want to write this as a conditional statement. Okay, if this is equal to block, okay, this is going to be a complete duplication of code, but I'm just kind of testing at the moment, okay? So bear with me now. If I move that up here, and then when I register this, I also say, well, I could do a rendered callback and hook this in now, but we're trying to extend block, so I don't want to set it up that way. But what I do want to say is attributes, and then I pass in the actual attributes from that block. So, boom, like that. Watch this, just gonna paste in JavaScript and it'll work, right? No. Hold on, we have to change some things. How do you create objects again? How do you write PHP? I don't remember. Okay. All right, so how does he have it? Attributes are, everything's an array here. So I think I just like remove that, and then do that, and then, right? Let's keep doing that. I do like this shorthand syntax, and now that all of WordPress is moving over to PHP 7, we could start actually using this abbreviation. And it's the exact same as JavaScript, so it makes my life easier when I have to swap between the two. What do you know? What do you think? Think that'll work? Probably not. No idea right now what I'm doing, folks. I'm just troubleshooting until it works. Attributes are an array of some string, which is an array of the other, right? So attributes are an array, and this is the first item in the array, just like they're some string. And then that in turn, oh, these are all wrong. That should have fixed it, but let's see. Oh, I know there's much faster ways to do this stuff, but yay, what's that? Did it work? Did it work? Did I do it? Okay, but here's like a big pain in the ass point for me is like, why would I want to do this twice? So like, we need a way to automate this. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I'm going to talk with my buddy JP, Josh Pollock, about this. Good guy to talk with for abstracting stuff. Okay, so for now, what we should have is if we refresh this and I echo out block in my filters, do I get... Yeah, that's the magic, y'all. Look at this. So now I actually have attributes. So if I come into my block attributes, but wait, oh my gosh, I just had an idea. It's attributes plural. I know that they're there. I know you're there. Can't hide from me now, I gotcha. Cool, so this is sweet because now we could get access to all of our attributes. But we can't, I'm also wondering, I haven't saved these as source attributes. So they're automatically saved in the comments. So like other, but where are all the, it's got images. Oh, that's the only one. Huh. There are more attributes to this block, and now it looks broken too. Okay, now I got direction column. So, I don't know, this is funky and weird to me. But again, this is why we test everything to see if it works. So now, do you see what's happening here? Because basically, an attribute only shows up once we use it, or make changes to it. But I'm trying to toggle this on and off. Yeah, see, it only shows up once we change it, which is not reliable or helpful for us. Oh, but there's defaults, but we can't get defaults. I don't think defaults were listed. That's another thing, is that WordPress does not save default attribute values until you change them. They just stay that way in the editor, so they're not, unless we ship them. No, it does put them into save. That's strange, because if we open up this block, and we look at the save method, yeah, we're using all these in here, so they should. But I'm also not sourcing, and what I mean by that is like none of these attributes are tied to HTML, so then it keeps all of them in comments. But we looked at this before, and this is in other live streams, so I'm not going to get into it too deep now. I think now I've really settled my question, which is even if we set up attributes manually, we cannot rely on them necessarily because we can't get the default even. Yeah, if we could get the default value, then we could definitely rebuild and remimic some of this save output. But if we can't get them, right, there is no way to get the default attributes. So let's go all the way back to block. Oop. Okay, put in another gallery, put in a bunch of stuff. Yeah, something on this is broken, I know. We'll get that fixed. Okay, now let's export all that stuff. See, it has direction column, but it doesn't have the light box. And if we don't have all of the values, we also don't know what the default value is, so we can't attempt to code it unless we looked. We'd have to go and look. And we'd have to write a lot of conditional logic. I'm just trying to think now what I want to actually explain in the course around this. I think I'm just going to simplify it and be like, this should really be used to wrap stuff around existing blocks. It's tough to get all the default stuff, and WordPress might not be providing it by default, so don't try to get inside block content too much, but you can look at the inner HTML and modify it, but you can't just get this as a data format back easily and work with it. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, we could parse it, but yeah, that is not the normal thing. I think at that point, you're doing too much work for yourself. So can you extend them? Okay, cool. We're moving on. I need to move on. Block saved, extra props. Let's go look at that one again. First of all, let's comment out this stuff. Will that work, or is that going to break everything? Okay. And originally I want it to be core quote. Cool. All right. Just set that up for later. Cool. Okay. So let's come back. That's the main PHP side, is just how do you extend stuff. So then the next one we have is get save content extra props. So let's uncomment that, and see what the heck it does. Get save content extra props. Okay. First, we'll go read the source code. A filter that applies to all blocks returning WP element in the save function. This filter is used to add extra props. The filter receives the current save element props, a block type, and the block attribute. It should return a props object. So add background by default to all blocks. Add background, get the props, Lodash assign, props, background, color red. So, I think that this is helpful. Well, okay. The issue this raises is adding props to something may do nothing if you don't actually assign those props within the editor save, right? If you're not using them. And if all we're doing here is adding props, the only type of props that get added automatically in React are ones that are HTML attributes. So if you set a prop of ID, it's going to assign an ID to that element. And if you do style, it should define a style. So what we're doing here is adding a class of No Citation, and then I'm guessing we have some CSS. No, we got to look at that. Okay. Where'd it go? Okay, so what do we do here? Custom save content props. I think, are we just using their example here? Possibly, that's where I started. All right, so if props class name is equal to block quote, I guess that's one way of checking it. And there's more than one child, return merge class names of No Citation. If the class name is WP block code, so if it's a code block, then change the colors to it. All right, well, we have this running. Let's see what happens here. Let's start off with our block quote. This did not do anything. Okay, so let's back all the way up to this top and just start logging out what we've got and see what we're working with. Always good to just back up, start over. Okay, so we've got children and class name. So that really is all we have to work with. So if the class name is WP block quote and props.children is not, and there's not a second one. Oh, because there's no citation. I see what we're doing now. Okay, so let's say that we remove, see now there's two children. We've got one for the element, which is this, and we've got one for, can I see the data? Where is all the data? Whatever. That's the second one. So I think if we take out this first one and we have no citation there, then this should change. See, so if now there's this here, but there's no citation. And we now have got a class name of No Citation. So we could style our blocks with no citation differently, and that's cool. That's a cool example. Add a class of No Citation if a quote has no citation. I guess we just have to read your own comments. Oh, cracking myself up here. Okay, so it's another one. Background color, I like this. Lodash merge. Why are we using Lodash? Meh. Where else is Lodash in here? We could just use object.assign. Right? Hold on. Lodash dot merge versus object dot assign. Extend assign and merge. Well, if property values, there's no recursive. merge, and it goes down recursively. So since there's multiple here's, yeah, let's not mess with that. Let's just keep lodash.merge. Okay, so we've got props and we're adding on to props class names, although that's only one level. That should not matter. In this example, we should still be able to use it, but whatever. Okay, here, if props class name equals code block, by the way, this is not Yoda code. I know, I don't know if I'm, yeah. Mixed feelings on the evolution of JavaScript coding standards. I don't know if I'm going to keep using Yoda. I don't know if they're going to keep using them, whatever. This isn't it. It's cool. Lodash merge, we got the props. We had background color, black and white. So let's just go ahead and test this out. Block, or what is this? This is a code. Now, because it's get save content extra props, it's only adding it on the save. So that's kind of cool, but I don't know if that's ultimately what you want. But that's that prop. Cool. I can move on. Let me check one thing here before I move on. Let all that sink in. Good stuff, good stuff. Just got a support question. Want to check real quick. And phone's not working. Okay. There we go. Yeah, we'll get back to them later. Okay. So, what's next? Get block default class name, generated classes for it. This allows you to change it. Yeah, this one's pretty simple. If it's a core cover, change it to my cover. You got to be careful with this, y'all, though, because this may, if you do it in a plugin, may break with different themes or get unexpected results. But let's just go ahead and delete all those. And let's say cover. Title. So I bet this isn't going to work necessarily as expected too, because oh, it adds a class. So it's WP block cover and also my block cover. Because we're doing class names. So if I want to just replace it, okay, let's do this two ways. We'll add a class name. We'll replace class names. Now this is probably a terrible idea because there might be more than just your own, right? Has background dim is applied. So if we do this now, when is this applied? Do we have to resave the block? Let's just try that over again. Yeah, see, now we're messing with all of its styles. So I don't know if you want to do that. In fact, I'm betting you don't. We'll replace class name, we'll add a class name. So I'm guessing what we want to do is not that, and we'll delete that. We'll add a new quote one. Oh, no, cover. Yeah, shortcuts. Cool, they're coming together now. Nope. Okay, you do need to refresh the page. Cool. Good to know. Yep. Okay, now we've got my cover block. Okay, that's all we need to know for that one. Get block attributes. Ooh, I wonder how this is going to work with the PHP side. Switch block types, yeah, that I decided was one of them that we're not doing. So let's look at get block attributes. Okay, let's try reading it first. If it's a block of this and it does not have an attribute of a line, and then log the attribute of a line, and then give attribute back of full. Cool. So if the image does not have an aligned set, we're going to hard code, or we're going to assign a thing of full. If block name is full, return class. Okay, so this is what we did in the other one. I don't know if we want to do that here, but yeah, that does not belong here. I don't think. Let's try it. Okay, so what are we working with? An image? Grab ourselves an image. Oh, you know what? This isn't set up to be working yet. Let's just delete that, try again. Cool. All right, so now let's open that up. Get block attributes. Let's get our console going, and let's do an image. Can I make a video with the repeater block? Don't have plans to, sorry. Mostly just... Okay, so let's see. But could I do one with the repeater? Maybe. I don't know how much live streaming I'll be doing outside of this prep stuff, so that's the only reason. All right, so let's see what we've got here. Okay, I added it after the filter was up. So let's add an image, and then it should... At what point does that kick off? Because I would think that... Let's try this again. Okay. All right, what are we doing here? An image. And see, I would think that it would be assigned already, but as soon as we save it, then we refresh it, now it's breaking. So maybe this is another one of those ones that we got to be careful about, because this is only block attributes. Let's read the source code again. Called immediately after the defaulting of attribute before validation to change it in time for validation. Cool, but why isn't it? But we're changing an attribute that is in the save function. So it looks like it's not hitting the save function the first time, because this is what's current, but we've gone ahead and added this. So we have in effect broken it. But we've also learned from the PHP sign that there was no way to do this reliably, because the image block isn't going to give us the attributes, right? So if we come into, let's try get saved element extra props, because we already tried the other one. Get save element, wait, what? Get save content extra props. Oh no, sorry, it was on the PHP side, that's right. Block filters. So if we do a core image, let's just get all the data. I'm just going to break everything again. All right, get that. Okay, so we've updated it. Find constant block. Assuming block, this will throw an error. Oh, geez, right. Cool. Okay, guess you can't do that. Thinking of console log. We know what block content is, but we actually want to have the block. And let's go back into the editor to check this out. So it's got the core image. See, it's, it does give us one attribute, its ID, but it doesn't give us the attribute of full line. So let's see if that changes, if we can. Oh dear. I don't even know how I did this. Look at this. What is going on here with our editor? I think I broke it. Let's try this again. Okay. All right, so image. Oh, I remember what I was trying to do. Okay, I want to not do that so it's not broken. And then let's just resolve this and keep it. Oh, because that other one ran. So let's just turn that off for a second. See, because we're getting full line here, but I don't think we're going to get it on the PHP side. So now we could turn this. Okay, hold on. Actually, set this to full line so that it has it, or to wide, I think that'll be. And then let's come back into our block filters and do this now. See, so now we have a line wide. So technically we could get that and change the wrapper, but then that wrapper is around this, so we're still not good. Okay, cool. That works for me. It's good enough for me. There we go. Let's do that block. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what's up with attributes then, because we could get the attributes, but if we change them, it will break everything. So once again, I'm not sure. Well, I guess it's because it's saying if there's no attribute aligned. So we could force it to always be, but then we'd want to like remove the buttons so it's not confusing. Yeah, this is just confusing. Well, it's not confusing, it's just that it's going to break, so I'm not sure the real use case for this. Because we could, basically we're trying to override one of the attributes. Unless there's a use case where okay, so maybe the use case is that we are just trying to, rather than modify them, we want to do something different. But you're giving back attributes at the end of it. So we could check out information about the block, but we can't modify the block because all we're giving back are the attributes. So again, not sure the purpose of this would be. Because we're breaking it. I don't know. Unless there's a block where you really know what an attribute is and you know it's going to be included and always set, then you set it, but still you're overriding and you're changing. Because this is happening with the JavaScript, it's not going to match up almost, I'm pretty sure, no matter what. So that's not good. All right. Cool. Let's keep on going down the list. I mean, this is kind of the problem with block filters, y'all. Honestly, this is the stumbling block I've been hitting. Used to modify the block's edit function, feeds the edit function, and returns a new wrapped function. So this is cool because now we could begin to get all the children and modify it. Or like in this example, it adds a custom inspector controls. How many of these more do we need to do? That covers all the save, block edit. All right, let's go look at this. So what this looks like it's doing is taking a paragraph tag and modifying it so that it adds something into the inspector. But what I want to make sure is that it's not overriding anything that needs to be there. So yeah, there's all this stuff. Then we turn on block edit. That should be on. Oh, has a wrapper. Is that ours? Did we change anything? Let's try viewing that. Oh, not that, not that. So what's going on here? First of all, why is it saying color settings? Right? Like, where is that coming from? Okay, weird. Okay, let's try turning this off. What should this look like? Yeah, see, that's what I was afraid of. It is removing certain things. So if there's a prop attributes wrapper, which we're setting to be true there, then we're adding on. See, this is a slot fill system, so what I'm wondering is this might just be a weird overriding issue that we're having where it's overriding existing stuff instead of just putting this in the slot where it's supposed to go right there. Okay, so we're getting all the props, we're setting attributes. So it looks like block edit props is what we get in. How are they expecting us to do this? Okay. Create a higher order component with compose. Let's just look at all this at once. Okay. So you know we want that ES next. You know that's right. Higher order component, get a fragment, inspector body. Okay. So with inspect, we basically hook into anything. This isn't having any conditional statements. And then it's just like my custom control right here. Okay, so it looks like that's what I did. But it looks like my custom control is interfering with their custom control. So again, this might be one of them where like, are you sure you want to, you're not extending it, you're actually overriding it and replacing it. So if you wanted custom color settings, you'd probably have to add them in. And it's weird that it put it here and it didn't change text size or anything else like that. Like that's the part that I'm kind of confused about, because if you notice, oh, wait for it. Right, we included that? Nope. Sorry, just got to check my timer for how much longer I got here. All right, I'm going to have to finish up with this one. All right, so block edit, if there's this wrapper, then we extend this to have this toggle setting, right? So now when we have a paragraph, But it's under color. Oh no, color settings is right there. Okay, we added our own. Cool, so can we add a panel row to this and make it official? Let's see, panel row, good. Panel row, nice. My toggle control could have the panel row. No, that's fine. Yeah, cool. Now, what do we want to do with this information? So we've got block edit. Do we want to get into cloning blocks and beginning to do things with them? All right, let's start trying some things. Where can I write some JavaScript? Okay, here we go. I want to see what block edit is. And then how do I get children of something? Okay, I need to remember some of my React now. Okay, so how do you get children of a block? Is this going to return anything? Yep, but is that what I want? Let's see, .children. All right, component did mount, component parent, test, test, test. Where's children? Children. This.props.children. That's where it is. Okay, so we go this props.children. Now I gotta admit, I have not done a lot of work with trying to clone and modify React components. I've played around with it quite a bit for the DOM and for oh, but this one's not gonna. Is this not gonna have children? All right, where are you? Children, children. Yeah, this might just not be. Let's do core quote. But then again, is block edit way too complex for us to be messing with? But that's really the ultimate thing of hooks, because people ask, like, how do I go in? Wrapping a block is the biggest request, but then how do I go in and I like change one thing about it? And I'm just not seeing, unless I'm probably missing something, but create a higher order component that we get block edit in. But I want to see what block edit is. That wasn't helping a ton. That's how we get, okay. Block edit children. Right. .props.children. I swear there's probably a much smarter way, if I knew a little bit more React, to go about doing all this. But now, let's take blocks.children.map and CSL over it and get child right? Something like that. Is that JavaScript? Let's see. No, it's broken. Thought that would work. All right, just throw that back to there. Recheck what we got. Because I think there's only, is there just only one child? Is that why it's, there we go. So that should be closer to what, but this whole edit function is not usually what we just get. So sometimes there's a lot more in it. So I'm still a little nervous about modifying this. I think this is a great example for wrapping. Okay, so extending Gutenberg blocks, it looks like it's becoming, here's how to wrap stuff around an existing block. And here's how to add custom attributes. Let me add some notes here. I think before I was taking some notes on this advanced Gutenberg development. Cool. Okay, so register block type. I don't remember my old notes, but let's start here. This section will include how to wrap core blocks with your own custom divs or elements, core blocks in the save, in the edit function with block edit filter, in the save with PHP, but we demo the get save elements. Also, we will include, what is it, how to add custom attributes, particularly when they are HTML attributes and get added automatically, i.e. background color IDs, and CSS classes. Although you want to be careful about IDs because those need to be unique, and that might be a little bit tricky, but whatever, let's do IDs. Let's go back, I'll code another example. Okay, so what are we not doing? Modifying, oh, we also have the ability to, can also wrap the block with a custom toggle whatever, or a custom inspector control. I imagine we could probably do the same for the toolbar. Then there's got to be a way to remove stuff from the toolbar too. Again, like I want to dig deeper into this, but I just either need some help to understand what was written and why, or yeah, something. So we can also wrap the block with a custom inspector control. But what will this do? What we're not doing, modifying the edit function directly. What are we not doing? Getting custom attributes to do custom things in the edit function. And then warning, modifying save with JS may break things. Cool. I think that feels pretty good. I mean, it doesn't feel pretty good. It feels like what I got to do based on what our limitations are. But on my list of stuff I want to figure out, let's do a my list. Things to figure out. How to modify block edit. How to, I think that's it. And I thought that one of those said that, or was that just the save? Like, where were they mentioning cloning in here? Yeah, that's just in the save. So block edit. Use to modify the block's edit component. Oh, because we can just replace it with our own. So if we don't like what they're doing with this block edit, we could return our own here. But that's where we began to run into a little bit of things of like, well, how do I get this stuff inside of there? But we have access to its attributes and stuff, right? BlockEdit.props. Or whose props am I even looking at now? Oh, at the paragraph. So let's just do props again. I don't know if this is still hooked up. Yep. So now we've got a wrapper of true. So we could go in, and if we don't like the way they're... Okay, let's just try this. Watch this. Edit, question mark? Like... Yes. Okay. And if we save that, it shouldn't even break anything because we're not modifying the core block at all. In fact, now our core block has no data that's similar to it. Hold on. Let's try this from scratch and see what we're working with. Can't even select that block. Well, we did kind of mess this block up a little bit, but whatever. Okay, so we can't override it completely if we don't want to code it out, but let me just show you in part why I hesitate to suggest that. Because if we come down, and even just for the paragraph block, let's look at the block library paragraph. First of all, look at how much there is here. There's also the native, so if we break edit, no, that shouldn't break native. Okay, here's their edit. So there's fallback styles, here's the paragraph block, on replace, toggle drop cap can help, split the block, render. This is the part I think. I think it just gets us this, but it might have all of that as well. So the toolbar is here, so we could maybe even override the toolbar and give it a totally different one. Let's do... Yeah, also I gotta run, so I cannot keep going here, but let's just try this one last thing. Yeah, let's just put an empty toolbar there. I think we could just do toolbar. Where is toolbar? Components or editor? It's probably in the editor. That did not work. Well, we broke it. That's a good sign, right? Now we can't even delete that sucker. Yeah, so we're breaking it right away. Yeah, so that's just it's not working, but I don't know. I think we can maybe go down this path some more and start overriding more things than I thought. So I'm going to pause here. We'll see if we're really ready to record, but I think I can at least begin recording some of this stuff because I could do the video on register block type, the video on save element, and some of these other ones, and then I'll just dig a little bit deeper into block edit a bit more. Cool. Y'all have a good one. Hope you enjoy this. Please like, subscribe, and check out, of course, the actual full course. Pretty much everything else is released up to this point over on JS4WP. Ciao. Have a good one, y'all.